What's in your head is just as important as what's on your plate.
You get to be in control of how other people show up in your life.
It is pretty easy if you're prepared, and I think being prepared is the key.
Hi. I actually started my journey for the first time when I was 18 with Weight Watchers at the time. And I started January after my first semester of university, where I had gained about 45 pounds. And the first time around, I lost the weight. The first time I did it, I was in a different headspace, and I lost the weight, and then I left because I thought I had it under control. And so a couple years went by, and I started again, January 2020, always January, because I always felt new start, fresh day, right? New year. And so I continued forward every year, trying to do it again and again. And then January of 2020, I started it with my mom. We decided that we were tired of feeling really down and not healthy and really, really tired. I was tired of feeling uncomfortable in my clothes and in my pictures. And my mom and I both hit Lifetime in about August, September of last year. And we've been at Lifetime ever since. So my why when I first started, when I was 18, was to get quote unquote skinny. It was never to get healthy or anything like that. So I had started my journey the first time around thinking that all I wanted to do was fit into a size 0 and be the standard of this is what society wants me to be. That's shifted now though. And so my why when I started to back up in January of 2020 was to feel better about myself and really to ensure that when I get old, that I'm not reliant on everybody. If I can prevent it, like if I can take control now to be healthy now and to be independent, then that's what I wanted to do. My keys to success are a mindset. My mindset has been to, again, be ensuring that I am putting nutritiously dense food into my body and that I'm intentionally moving it so that it stays agile and it stays mobile. But really the way to keep that success is to keep consistent. We talk about willpower and discipline, but it's really about fueling the energy that you have into consistency and always finding a plan that works for you. Starting small. People think that they can do it all at once, and really the importance is that you need to start small, pick one thing every week to grow on. It's like people that run marathons. They don't just start with running a marathon. They start by building the building blocks to run a marathon, like starting to run for 30 seconds at a time. I use Instagram as a platform where I share my story every day. And I use Connect. And I really, really love the WW community and what it brings. And, keeping myself immersed in an environment where people are showing growth and they're showing that they can do it. And so why can't I? So the keys to my success are accountability and consistency. And when you get those under your belt by focusing on process, by focusing on little things that you can do to keep going, you'll get there. I started running. I started running while I was on WW. In May of last year, I saw a bunch of my friends on Couldnt and on Instagram. They were running. They were doing an app. And so I decided that I was going to try it. Like, why not? Why not try something? If they can do it, maybe I can too. I remember thinking to myself that, like, I hate running. I'm never gonna do it. And then all these amazing people were running, and I was like, okay, well, it can't hurt to try. If I try and I don't like it, it's okay. So I started just with 30 seconds. I started running 30 seconds, walking 2 minutes, and I gradually built it. And I started finding a passion for it. And when I started running, things changed. I felt this incredible high that I never knew was possible. And it was such a defining moment for me because I was able to really focus on something that I loved for an intentional movement. And I kept hitting new milestones. Like, I started with running 20 minutes just in one shot, never stopping. And I thought that that was absolutely insane to me because in high school, I hated running. I truly hated it. And it was because of the pressure of making sure you hit it at a certain amount of time. And, you know, because we used to do track and field and we were forced to. And this was different. This was me doing it for my own accord, on my own accord, doing it for me, doing it for nobody else, but to show myself that I could literally do anything that I set my mind to. And it really helped me get back to Lifetime because I knew that I could do anything I set my mind to. I just had to start somewhere. There's a bunch of things that I couldn't have done without WW. One is have the confidence to know my worth. You know, watching other people succeed in things that they put their mind to and thinking, I could do that. But I never was able to think that way until I was living my life with the tools of WW and the community. So just having so much confidence now that I didn't have before. Even the first time I started my journey, I didn't have that confidence because I wasn't fully immersed in the lifestyle that is WW. Without WW, I probably wouldn't have had the confidence to meet people that I've met in the community in person finally, and become friends with them. So that's been really cool. Plus the fact that I'm running now, like, who would have thought? I keep saying to my high school friends, like, who would have thought 16-year-old Carm would be a runner when she turned 30? Like, who would have thought? So, you know, I'm really, really grateful that I've been able to live my life with WW, and I get to continue to live my life with WW and live with this community and this program that helps me live my best life in the most healthy way, you know, by focusing on 4 pillars. And the 4 pillars doesn't include the scale. Like, how amazing is that? So really it's this, you know, transition from focusing on losing weight to living a lifestyle that is healthy and balanced, and you get to eat what you want and love what you're eating. Like, I am a foodie, I am Italian, I love to eat. And so finding things that I love, such as, you know, I can't give up pasta. I can't give up pizza. Are you kidding? So, you know, living with WW lets me enjoy those things and not feel guilty about it. Getting rid of food guilt is something that I wouldn't have been able to do without WW. You know, there's so much out there that tells you, you can't eat this and you can't eat that. What do you mean I can't have that? That's my thought process. If I had to live my life, couldn't eat certain things, I wouldn't do it. And so I'm so grateful that without WW, I wouldn't have been able to get rid of that food guilt and have the confidence that I have today. And I'm so internally grateful. The way that I get through obstacles is by planning. I plan out what I need to do to ensure that I can be successful. I focus on the process. I focus on the tools that I've learned through WW and living with WW, and that's, pre-tracking your food, planning for the week, moving your body with an intentional feeling, feeding yourself with nutritious food that are beautiful in color and beautiful in taste and just super wholehearted, but also knowing that I can give myself grace when the new process happens and, the new situations happen. Being really introspective has helped me. I usually write down my feelings or write down how I'm feeling or document how I'm feeling, and that helps me to process it. So when I'm struggling or when I'm hitting certain obstacles, I really have to set up a plan because I know what I'm doing and I know what to do. It's just about execution at this point. And so writing it down helps so much. So that way you're not overthinking it and you get to see how amazing life can be if you live your best life and don't feel guilty about it. And having an accountability buddy. When you're struggling, reach out to somebody. Don't do it alone, because the struggle isn't something that should be silenced. You should be able to talk about it because you never know who can help and who can maybe say something that will, inspire you. And my biggest piece of advice is start small. Start changing one or two things in your diet, what you're eating, drinking your water. Pick one thing that is tangible, one thing that you can change every week. Don't try to do it all, because when we first start, we're all gung-ho, we're ready to go. We try doing all the things, track our water, eat our food, drink our water, track our food, move all the time. And then what happens is we get tired and we struggle to keep going. And so it's really easy to get caught in, doing it all. When you first start, you need to start gradual. Nobody ran a marathon by one day waking up and running 21 kilometers or 42 kilometers. Nobody did that. You can't start that way. You need to start with a base that is strong and sturdy. And if that means just planning out a week of foods that you would normally eat and just tracking it all, seeing where you're going, being mindful for 1 week, and then working your way to the next goal and the next process idea. Start by focusing on your process and slowly integrating new things into that process instead of trying to do it all at once. You burn out too quickly, and so my biggest advice that I would give someone starting is to just start slow. Also, get rid of an end goal. This is not an end goal journey. This is I'm gonna keep making goals for myself and keep attaining them. Yes, you may have an idea of where you wanna be in, however long, but remember, when you put this pressure on yourself to hit a certain goal by a certain time, what happens is, if you don't ever reach it, you become very discouraged. So pick what you can and focus on that. Focus on the process, and the end goals will happen. As an Italian and someone that loves carbs, and will never get rid of them in any sense, ever. I wanted to give you my top 5 Italian recipes that are go-to staples, have them at least once a week. One of these 5 items is always in our rotation of food. And so my top 5 Italian lightened up recipes are, my first one is spaghetti with Italian marinara and turkey meatballs. Easy, simple, delicious, so good. The second one is 2-ingredient dough pizza. 2-ingredient dough is Greek yogurt, flour, in a pizza format, low in points, delicious, with a little bit of marinara, some light mozzarella, and some prosciutto. A little bit of prosciutto, either cooked or not, your choice. And so good. The third one is chicken parmesan in the air fryer. So, piece of chicken breast, coated with some egg, some breadcrumbs, a little bit of sauce, a little bit of cheese in the air fryer, perfection. Number 4 is 2 ingredient dough panzerotti, or as we like to call them, calzones. A nice little pocket with your cheese, some turkey pepperoni, some sauce. So good in the air fryer, let me tell you, so good. And number 5, we have pasta with beans. We call it pasta fagioli. And it's literally that. It's a pasta sauce with beans, a lot of beans. And when you're on certain programs, those beans can be 0 smart points each for a cup. So pasta with beans, and then we do a light veal marsala, which is just veal sauteed with a little bit of wine. And let me tell you, it is a super filling, super delicious meal. And I love it. So those are my top 5. Just to recap, we got spaghetti with meatballs, 2 ingredient dough pizza, 2 ingredient dough calzones, and chicken parm and pasta fagioli. So those are my top 5. What are your top 5 Italian dishes?